really busy, meditate for an hour, something like that,
whatever. It has to be no differently than you brush your teeth.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Sometimes I forget to do.
Yeah, right. Well, there's that, right? There's that. Sometimes we forget to do that. I somehow remember to remind my children to do it, but yeah. Anyway, okay, I think we're set. Wait, let me just make sure all my settings are where they're supposed to be. All the buttons are ticked. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, yeah. All right.
But energetically speaking, this is like
huge. I know, which is why, like, come on, it's Elul, like, come on, people, right? I know, but it's hard, it's so incongruous always to me where it's, and that's the thing. That's, like when we live in in a secular calendar and our kids are on a secular calendar this time of year, it's like, there's so much going on in the secular calendar that it's so hard to do the Elul calendar, the Jewish calendar, mixed into that. And so, but it is what it is, and we do our best, and anyway. All right. Hi. So my youngest is preparing for his bar mitzvah right now, which means I'm preparing for a bar mitzvah right now. It's December 6th. His birthday's in August, but they push anyway. That's another conversation. Okay. Anyway, it's fine. The challenges of there's many blessings in a Reformed congregation, which is what we're part of. Mainly that my family is comfortable there, and my husband, who's not Jewish, is comfortable there. Even though he's basically a practicing Jew, he wants to be where he's comfortable. And it's more important to me to have my family together than to be somewhere that I can find the Jewish stuff wherever I need to find it, But they do weird things like, oh no, we don't do summer bar mitzvahs, so your August birthday is going to be in December, and I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. I let it go. It is what it is. For whatever reason, that's when his bar mitzvah is supposed to be, right? Anyway, but in preparation for that, I'm trying to get him to synagogue more often. And so we brought him, I went on Friday night. I mean, it's good for me also. Every time I'm there, I'm like, oh, I just love it. Why don't I come? And then it's like, 7,000 things get in the way. But I see all my friends and I see, it's great to be there. And as part of a Reformed congregation, the rabbi often does her like big drash. The Saturdays are the bar mitzvah service. So the kids are doing it. So Friday nights, she usually does like a big drash on a Friday night. So she was talking about this week's Parsha, which is, or I guess it was last week's Parsha then. So last Shabbat's Parsha, which is Tietse. And she was
this week's Parsha.
It is this week.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, I didn't.
Right. The Parsha starts on the weekend. So it's like.
So it carries that way. I can never remember which way it works. I thought it was that it's the Parsha that's leading up to that week is the
read the Parsha.
Right. And then it carries through the next week.
Through the week.
Oh, it does. Okay. I thought it was the other way where it was like, oh.
That seems like
okay, fine, good. I like it. We're going with that. I don't really care. To me, I'm like, whatever. It was something in this energetic space that we were in, so I'm okay with whatever. But hopefully you all are too. I think you are. That's why you're here. But anyway, so it's the teaching where Moshe is standing. We've been talking about Moshe and Elul and moving towards Israel, and that his journey is sort of the journey of Elul and our own journey. And they're at the point where they're outside the Israel, and he's giving these last teachings and the last instructions. And one of the things that he says is, do not hate the Egyptians, which is, of course, a teaching we've all heard like before. But the point she was making, which I had never thought about and has never brought into my awareness, maybe it's been brought into yours, but was that the reason that he's saying that is that, they remember, why did we go to Egypt in the first place? Because they saved us from a famine. We ended up in Israel in Egypt rather, because our people were starving to death, and they took us in and they fed us. And that was the first. And then, 3 generations later, they did some pretty awful stuff. But now, because remember, the people that he's talking to now in the desert are not the same people who left Egypt. It's 40 years later. It's their next generation. So don't hate those people. Why would we carry that out? Now, don't forget it. Do the story every year. Do your Seder. Talk about it. Eat the bitter herbs. Do the maror. Do the whole thing. But also, don't forget, right, that these were also the people that saved us. So we can put that in our brains in any sort of modern way. I mean, I could talk about this for like days right now with all the stuff that's going on just, in the world and in my own life. Plug in whatever your, your version of that is. but to me, it was like, okay, don't hate because don't hate, right? There's all those teachings about hate where it's like, when you pass judgment on someone else, you're not defining them, you're defining yourself. When you're passing off hatred, there's that teaching that says, you know, bringing hatred into the world is like, or holding on to hatred or anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person's going to die. So there's all these reasons, of course, why we shouldn't hate. And in my brain, it was always like, yeah, just you don't hate. But I love that spin on it that says, okay, they're not ever Egyptians, whatever were the other, whatever your other is, us and them, the them, whatever that is for you, they're not just one thing. They're not just one thing. And it was interesting to me because this week I was teaching on this idea, this yogic principle in the yoga philosophy that says we have this ingrained mechanism that is like the differentiating mechanism of our psyche. Psychology calls it one thing, yoga calls it something else. It doesn't matter what we call it, but the idea is that we see difference. And it's a necessary part of becoming an individual. I have to be me and not you. I have to be me and not everyone else. But what happens is then we start to identify so strongly with what that is, whatever label I put on myself, mom or daughter or white-skinned or yoga teacher or brown hair or any number of Jewish, anything, right? Any label that we're putting on ourselves is also a limitation we're putting on ourselves. And when we do that, and we feel that we have to defend that part of ourselves, we have to defend who we are, then what are we doing? We're using and theming. We're creating us and them. We're creating me and you. And whereas there are ways that that's a helpful understanding of being in the world, having a strong ego sense and what you believe in and what you stand for and who you are is an important part of being a being. However, when we start to identify so strongly with what those things are, we forget that, oh yeah, wait, we're all this same thing. So one of my teachers teaches it as, if you imagine a landmass that gets flooded, and it's a landmass that has mountains, then you see a mountain here and a mountain here and a mountain here above the water, and you think, oh, there's islands. They're not islands. They're all this one thing. But unless you are going beneath the surface, unless you are diving underneath, you don't understand that. You don't. Right, your reality, the reality that you're seeing is, oh, there's islands here. There are all these separate things, and they're not. And the yoga teaching says, that we are the same thing. Each of us as individual humans, we are the same thing. Whatever we put on the, however we identify on the outside, at the very essence of things, we are the same thing. Whatever you call that, energy or source or whatever, your neshama, right? It comes from the big neshama. It's all the one thing. And it's all this, but we forget. Now, a key part of this for me is also that he's not saying love the Egyptian. He's not saying be friends with the Egyptian. I mean, you could be those things too, because maybe you are. What he's saying is don't hate them. So in other words, there are people that do really shitty things. There's people that do awful things in the world. There are people that are really, really covered up, that essence, that is part of them too. It's hard to understand that, but it's true. It's really covered up, but they're the same. It doesn't mean you have to be their friend. It doesn't mean it makes what they did okay. It doesn't mean that it makes what the Egyptians did okay 3 generations later. It's not okay, right? It's not okay. They committed genocide, right? It's not okay. But when we feel hate, when we feel jealousy, when we feel anger, that's our own stuff. That's our stuff to work with, not theirs. They got to work on their own stuff. When you react in a situation, that's your karma, not anyone else's karma. And that person came to you, what karma says, because you needed to learn that lesson for whatever reason. Yeah, sit with that. That's the work, right? Okay. But anyway, I loved that reframing, and I loved that thought that, like, okay, what, I mean, we could talk about it in 100 different ways, but, which I also, I'm happy to do and love to do. But here's the thing, in terms of our yoga practice and on the yoga mat, what is the point of all of this is that if we are not taking the time to seek within ourselves, to go beneath the surface of ourselves, if we are not taking the time to say, oh, I'm more than just this, what I can touch and see and feel and experience, I am more than that. then there's no way we're going to see it in anyone else. There's no way we'll be able to recognize it in any other being, however much we love them or however much we don't want to be around them or however much they, rile us up or make us comfortable or whatever it is. We're not going to see that unless we take these moments to say, I need to see it in myself. And so that's the practice, and that's what we're doing on the mat, is making that connection that says, okay, I am part of humanity. You're going to say something? Okay. It's very challenging.
Our history kind of makes it challenging.
Our history makes it challenging. Lots of histories make it challenging.
But what do you find challenging about
that we've been the them in so many places and been persecuted, I'm assuming is what you're saying, right?
So, I do a lot of work teaching in Holocaust education.
Yeah.
And I have worked with some shamans to help me not see everything through the lenses of victimhood.
Right. 100%.
That's hard.
It's hard to not see ourselves as victims. I'm just repeating so it's on the video and so people on the video.
Working at it.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of work.
My own parents, not just as Holocaust survivors, but
right.
It's a whole different.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
I think yoga is helpful with that, though.
What's that?
I think yoga is helpful with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's my best medicine.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I think it's like training your brain and breath.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's training your brain and your breath. It's taking the time to do it.
Yeah.
Not that you didn't take time other ways to do it. But that, for me, it's because I grew up with a lot of that. I grew up with Holocaust survivors. I grew up in a family that was very much about victimhood and whatever. And it's, some of that's just generational and again, understandably so, but every generation has to deal with that. And there's so many different groups that have to manage those things and that have been, I don't know. White men, they're the only ones, right? They're not in that group, right? Every other group, everything, right? Other than the white men, not to demonize them, but right. Really, we can turn to any one of them. Of course, the Jews, we've been strangers in a strange land for 2,000 years. So we've been the other. And that comes with a lot of stuff. It's right. I know. And it's the reason 100%.
I also come from a Sephardic family.
Oh, so you were victimized in other ways too.
But they left before.
Yeah.
So I have it, but I don't know. I've always seen our awareness as us.
And I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Because if someone ever asked me about my upbringing, I was blessed. I was blessed with optimism, resilience.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you're 100%. Talking about the identity thing. Like you shouldn't have identity goes only so far, right? But like, I don't know. I feel like I've built a big part of my personality on that otherness.
Yeah, the otherness, right? Built. Yeah. So, yes, I agree with all of those things, and I think probably that's why you're here, because I resonate with all of that, and so that's what I'm talking about a lot of the time. But I will tell you that I had to do a lot of reprogramming. I had to do a lot of reprogramming in my own reactions to things, my own ways of seeing the world, my own ways of being in the world. And I still have to fight those reactions of like victimhood. And it's funny, my cousin Amy is the one who's on the screen with us. So she knows, she's got some of the same family stuff that I have. And we've had stuff. We've all had our stuff. All right, one more thing, and then let's do yoga. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, we could turn this into a full.
I know we could, exactly. We could turn it into a whole therapy thing.
Like married someone that wasn't raised Jewish,
right.
That must bring up a lot.
Yeah, right.
And
it did for my parents. It doesn't for me at all, but it did for my parents for sure. Marrying a non-Jew is what she's saying.
No, but like also like different like ways of doing holidays and stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
It's so much easier because because to me, I look at I honestly, I have numerous friends who are married in both in Jewish relationships, and the families do things so differently.
Yeah,
It's
true.
way more of a conflict.
Yeah.
We do Jewish with my family. That's how we do it. We do Indian stuff with his family. That's how we do it. There's no conflict.
Is he Hindu?
He's everything. He will not differentiate. His mother is white. His father is Indian. He had a lot of Christianity growing up. He had a lot of Hinduism growing up. So he's just who he is. And honestly, that's how I ended up with somebody like that, because that's who I am. I certainly identify as Jewish. I certainly absolutely do that. I also embrace all of the Hindu stuff. I've got murtis and statues all over my house, which is like a big Jewish no-no. To me, it's all the same freaking thing. So to me, like, anyway, that's a longer conversation. And really, there's no question at all why we are who we are, and how we've become who we are. And literally, he's a practicing Jew. He does that. He'll do Shabbat in my house when I'm not home. He will literally make Kiddush when I'm not there.
More Jewish minded than
Right. No, exactly.
Austrian Jewish.
100%.
Very different.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And I have so many people, even like in the Orthodox community, who they both marry Orthodox, but the traditions are so different. It's such a fight. It's such an argument, and who's going to who, and they're jealous and they're whatever. And I'm like, great, I don't have to deal with any of that.
That is awesome, because
Right.
I'm like, I have that experience. Like we're both observant, but we're observant in different ways.
Yeah.
And little things
Yeah.
make such a difference.
Right. But as long as you're willing to be in that relationship and say, okay, this is the thing that's important to you, so we're going to do that thing. And this is the thing that's important to me, so we're going to do that thing, whatever. It doesn't matter what that thing is. To me, it was always like, I don't know. Anyway, this is a much longer conversation. I want to get to yoga. I want us to do some yoga. So yeah, I know we could talk all day in this class. So I'm sorry, we're talking. Amy, you could always unmute and have a conversation. You can always unmute and chime in when you're on. I hope you realize that. Okay, but let's do yoga. Let's do yoga. Like literally, we could be here for hours talking about this. I could for sure. All right. Anyway, close your eyes. Let's just take a moment and sit and do the work of connecting to that which is beneath the surface. Connecting to yourself as the island, as the individual, and all that is unique and amazing and beautiful and wise and wonderful about the person that you are. And then sort of letting go of all of that, so that you can see that, yes, you're those things. You're so much more. Seek the somatic experience, the felt body experience of connection to humanity, the race of humanity, not the religion, not the color of the skin, not any of those things. All the ways we can feel like one thing. We can feel unity, even with those we really disagree with, even with those that we don't want to be around, even with those who are just so incredibly different on whatever level that is. Bring your hands onto your heart. Let's just chant one time Hineni, just so we can get moving this in class today. So we're going to just chant Hineni one time, just to bring our energy, our awareness together. Deep breath in. Hineni. Let your head bow to your heart. And release your hands down to your lap. Actually do this. Keep your eyes closed, but take your arms out to the sides. Let your head lift. And then start a little cat and cow. As you inhale, turn your palms up, lift your chest up. And as you exhale, turn your palms down, thumbs down, let your head release back. And then inhale, palms up, chest open, heart open. Exhale, round your spine, head drop down. One more time like that. Inhale, lift your heart, exhale, thumbs down. Come up to neutral, take your hands behind your head. You can either lace your fingers or just take your fingertips there. As you inhale, elbows wide, chest lifting. So same movement, just a little more stretch in the upper back. And then exhale, elbows together, let your spine round, let your head release. Inhale, elbows wide, chest open, heart open. Exhale, elbows together. And one more, inhale and exhale. Good, come to neutral, drop your right hand over to the right, stretch your left arm up, and then just do some circles with the left arm. Opening through the shoulder, we're gonna work on heart opening, chest opening, front body opening in the practice today. Circle around the other way, just to have this sense of, opening ourselves up, opening our hearts up to see things as not just one way, to not just see ourselves as, the labels, the roles. Next time your arm is over your ear, hold here, lean to the right. But to open our hearts to seeing the oneness of things, the unity of things that we are a part of. Go to a twist pattern. As you exhale, tap your left hand either to your right knee or outside your right knee. And then inhale and twist open, looking up to the right. Nope, your left, sorry. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, twist, open to the left. And one more time, exhale, twist, turning down. Inhale, twist, open. And come to center and just pause, feel. Walk your left arm over to the left and start to circle the right arm. I'm going to put on some music because I like to have the music. Circle your arm as you're circling. Let the circles become bigger, wider, broader. So it's not just the arm that's moving. Well, it is the arm moving, but you're feeling the shoulder moving, the arm, head of the arm going in the shoulder socket. Change direction if you haven't already. Circle around the other way. Oh. Good. And then next time your arm is over your ear, hold it there, lean to your left. Take your shoulder back, your bottom shoulder, your top shoulder, your head, reach to your fingertips. And then twist, exhale, tap down to the left. Inhale, twist, open to the right. Exhale, tap down left. Inhale, twist, open right. Last one, exhale, twist closed. Inhale, twist open, just hold here for a breath. Chest open, heart open, head back. And come on back up to center. All right, good. Come off your blanket if you're sitting on something. Bring your feet in front of you. Take your hands, you can take your hands and point your fingertips out like this towards the long edge of your mat. If that's, if your shoulders are on the tighter side, that's a better position. Or you can turn your hands in, you'll get a little more of a shoulder stretch, but just be mindful of not causing pain in the shoulder. Bend your elbows a little bit, lean back. Plant your feet firmly on the earth. Feel your feet, feel your hands. Squeeze your elbows in, lift your heart. Good, and then lift your hips, keeping your chest lifting up, keep your neck nice and long. Exhale, lower your hips down. As you inhale, lift your feet up. You can keep your hands on the floor or you can go arms up, any position that works for you. Exhale, hands down, feet down. Inhale, hips up. Neck long, heart to the sky. Good. Exhale, hips down. Inhale, legs up, maybe arms up, maybe not. One more time, hands down, feet down. Push to the inner edges of your hands. Lift your heart a little bit higher. Press your chest towards the ceiling. Good. Exhale, hips down. Keep your heart lifted and open. Lift your arms and your legs. Keep hands on the floor if you need to. One more breath. And then fold your legs and fold over your legs. Walk your hands out in front. Let your head and your neck soften, your jaw, your face. Let your breath steady. And then find your way into tabletop. Come onto hands and knees. Good. Spread out your fingers, take your knees. Actually, bring your knees closer together for what we're doing today. Good. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. Make your arms steady and strong. And anchor your hand. Press your hands down, the inner edge of your hand, especially. Then take your right leg back. Notice how your belly wants to sag as the leg lifts up. So lift your navel towards your spine. Lift your belly up. And then if you've got your balance, take your left arm out in front. If it feels too wobbly, keep your hand on the floor. On your next exhale, take your elbow and your knee together. If you're keeping the hand on the floor, just bring the knee to the chest. Then inhale and stretch out, reach out. Exhale, elbow and knee together. Inhale one more time, maybe lift everything a little higher, a little more of a back bend. Exhale, knee and elbow together. Good. Hold with the leg and the arm extended. Bend up your top knee, your lifted knee. Stay here or reach back and catch your foot with your hand. If you can reach, that's an option. If you've got it, kick your foot into your hand. Move your knee back and your heart forward. Exhale, drop your knee, drop your hand, drop to your elbows for a moment and just squeeze out the wrist. So make a fist and then open the fingers, take a stretch for the wrists. Do it palms up, do it palms down, get some movement through the wrist, circle it. Okay, good. And then let's do the other side. So come back to your hands, shoulders over wrists, claw your fingers down, left leg back behind you. Stretch it out long. Squeeze your arms and legs towards each other. Inhale, right arm out in front of you. Good. You can keep the hand on the floor if you need to. We're going to exhale, knee and elbow together or just knee to nose with the hand on the floor. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, elbow and knee together. Inhale, extend out. Last one, elbow and knee together. Inhale, reach out, lift everything a little higher, bend up your back knee. Stay there. You can put your hand on the floor or you can reach for your foot. Any one of those options. So you could do it with the hand on the floor and just lifting the leg up if it's hard to reach the foot. That's always an option. Kick your foot back, take your heart forward. Good. Exhale and release. Okay, take your elbows now down to the floor. Don't shorten the side body. So instead of bring your elbows close to your knees, bring them out in front. Yeah, so you've got some space between your knees and your elbows. Look forward towards your thumbs. And then just do some upper back push-ups. So let the shoulder blades slide onto the back and then push into the floor, let the shoulder blades slide off the back. And just like that, up and down a few times. So it feels a little like cat and cow, but try to isolate the movement in the upper back. Yeah, that's it, Amy, you got it. Yep. Try to make the movement more in the upper back and stabilize your belly. The body's always going to want to go in the path of least resistance. And the lumbar spine is much more flexible than the thoracic, the upper spine. It's just like our minds. We want to go in the path of least resistance. We want to categorize and put us into the us's and the thems because it makes it easier, but that's not life. Life is not black and white. Okay. After your next pulse, sit back, hips to heels, child's pose. Wrap your arms back by your feet. Let your head rest on the floor. If it doesn't make it to the floor, that's okay. Or you can bring a pillow or a blanket or something underneath your head if you want your head to be resting on something and it doesn't reach the floor. You can also widen out your knees. That's another way to do it. Let your shoulders relax. Soften your jaw. Soften your face. Soften that armor that we have to wear outside. You know, that's another thing that I just so appreciate about yoga. It's like whether we agree or we don't agree about stuff, we can this is a safe shared space where we can let down that armor, where we can delve into the depths of our own being and feel safe in doing that. Come on, back up to tabletop, back onto your elbows, same position, fingers laced together. Okay, here's the next one, and one more shoulder exercise here. So again, feel how your belly wants to sag. So if I'm letting my belly sag, it looks like that. My low back has a big wide curve in it. So I'm not erasing the curve. I'm just pulling my navel towards my spine. I'm drawing my pubic bone up so that the low back has some support in the front of the body. Okay, keep that and then rock forward, chin towards your thumbs, and then rock back, head towards the floor. And then rock forward, chin towards the thumbs, push your elbows down, exhale, rock back, head towards the floor. Keep pushing your elbows down. And just like that, a few more times, come forward and go back. If you're wanting to a little bit more work, you could do this with your knees off the floor. I'm doing it with my knees down today, but you can always do it with knees up. One more time, forward and back. Okay, good. Come back up into your hands. And actually we're going to come down onto our side now. Just watch me for a second. Here's what this is the next movement. I actually like this with a block between the knees. You don't need to do it with a block between the knees, but if you have one, it can be helpful. So I'm going to put a block here. I'm going to lay on my side. My head is off the floor. If it's really uncomfortable, you can put a blanket there, but you'll see where we're going. So I'm going to trail this top hand along the floor. I'm squeezing the block. So my knees are going over to the left. And then I'm going to let the right arm open up behind, and then I'm going to bring the hands together. So it's a thoracic spine opener. This is the movement, not complicated. I just wanted you to see what it looked like as you're doing it. So lay onto your left side. Take the block between your knees. Reach your arms out in front of you, palms together. The left arm's going to stay there. Good. Squeeze your block and then start to trace your right hand along the floor overhead. So go overhead, not back behind, go over your head, and then roll to your back. Take your right shoulder to the floor. Let your right arm extend to the right. That's it. And then bring your right hand back to your left hand. Try to keep your knees where they are through this movement. Inhale, sweep your arm overhead, roll to your back. Roll your right shoulder to the floor, squeeze your block. Exhale, hands together. 2 more. Sweep the arm overhead, roll to your back, get your right shoulder closer to the floor if you can. Exhale, hands together, and last one. And next time you're in the open twist position, we're going to just stay there for a couple of breaths. So this is a pose we usually come into from the other way. We drop the knees to the side rather than working the upper back. So it's just a different way to work the same pose. Let your right shoulder relax. Let your right ribs soften towards the floor to the right, even as your knees are squeezing to the left. Take one more breath in. I know it's not a deep breath. We're in a twist, so that restricts the breath. Long, slow exhale out. Good. Now, slide your left hand underneath your head. Roll back to your left side. You can rest your head on your arm now, and then lift up your top knee. The block will just fall. It's fine. And catch your right ankle or your foot behind you for a thigh stretch. That's it. Hug your top knee down towards your bottom knee and hug your heel towards your butt till you feel a stretch in the front of your right thigh. You got it. You can keep that bottom knee where it was, Phyllis, just for balance. Yeah, however you feel balanced. Okay, now tone your low belly. Draw your navel to your spine. That's it. Keep that. Move your right knee back. Move your right shoulder back, but don't let your belly pop forward. Tone your belly. Should feel like a deeper stretch. That gets into the psoas attachment there. One more breath. Good. Release your foot. Okay. Roll to your other side. That was a good one, right? This is a shoulder thing that I used to do really, really a lot. I don't do it as much anymore, but it's a really good shoulder and thoracic. It's good for shoulder mobility and upper back mobility. Okay, so you can use the block or not, either way, but knees are over to the side. You're laying on your right side, palms together. And then you keep squeezing the block. Trail your left arm overhead. Let the left arm open out behind you. Exhale, hands together. Inhale, sweep the arm overhead. Roll to your back. Let that left shoulder come close to the floor. And then, yeah, you could circle it back overhead if you want to. Bring the hands back together. That's a little more shoulder mobility. However you want to do it. 2 more times. Roll open. And then roll closed. And last one, we're going to land and hold there. And let your left shoulder relax towards the floor. Left elbow relax towards the floor. Left ribs relax towards the floor. You know, in yoga, we pulse between open and closed, between contraction and expansion, and one isn't better than the other, you know? It's just, these are all parts of who we are. And when we can acknowledge the totality of that we're not just this one thing or just this one way of being, the world really opens up. All right, roll back to your right, rest your head on your arm. Bend up your top knee, catch your foot behind you, left hand to the left foot. Yeah, you can just let the block fall. Squeeze, yeah, I know mine's just kind of hanging out there, but you can let it go. Okay, hug your top knee down, just so it's not popping way up into the air. Then hug your heel towards your butt. Now tone your belly a lot. Navel towards your spine. Yes. Then if you're looking for more thigh stretch, move your left knee back behind you more. One more breath. Okay, release that foot and come to your belly. So as we come into back bends, you know, we call these back bends, right? When we're in this position, they're really front body openers. Your back is bending in all sorts of different ways when you're doing yoga. So even like when we label poses in yoga, it's like we're limiting them, you know? So I'm going to invite you to like not think about a back bend, but to think about a front body opener and opening the front of the body as evenly as you can. So bring your forehead to the floor. Bring your hands behind your back. And if you can reach, lace your fingers together. If you can't, just do it with your arms by your sides. It's totally fine. Hug your legs in towards each other and tone the muscles in the back of your legs. Tone your legs. Wake the muscles up. Not so much that you're locking out through your knees, but just they're awake. And then wake up your glute muscles. Tone your glutes and lift your legs. And then feel your low back. Root your pubic bone down. And then start to turn on the muscles in your low back. So you're starting to lift up now. Turn on the muscles in your mid back. Turn on the muscles in your upper back. Lift your hands. Turn on the muscles in the back of your neck. So there's this curve from the tailbone to the base of your skull that feels even and gentle. Exhale and release. Turn your cheek over to the side. Switch the interlace of your fingers. Bring the other pinky finger on top, the other thumb. So same way, palms still face each other. Just switch the other pinky finger on top. Yeah, like that. Okay, good. Same thing. Turn on your legs. Let them slowly start to lift. Feel the whole back body turning on. Turn on your glutes. Low back, middle back, upper back. Notice the chin likes to crank forward here. Just keep your neck long, the muscles in the back of the neck. Then push your pubic bone down. Imagine you could lift your belly away from the floor, lift it up, and lift everything else up a little higher. Okay, release. Good, you guys. Turn your cheek over to the other side. We do that in our practice. We turn the cheek. We turn our cheek one way and the other. It's the reminder we can turn our cheek. We don't have to get dragged in. We don't have to be the friend. We just have to not hate. All right, come on up to tabletop. Come to a long tabletop. Tuck your toes under. Lift your knees and your hips up. Downward facing dog. Good. And then in your dog, whatever warm-ups you like to do. So maybe you like to pedal your feet or shift your hips or bend your knees. Just ease into your dog pose. Maybe bending and straightening, just letting the backs of the legs ease open a little bit. Ironically, when we open up the back body, we open up the front body. When we open up the front body, we open up the back body. Same thing. When we open up to a shared humanity, we open up to that in everyone, not just in ourselves, not just in the people that we like or the people that are like us. Okay, walk forward, land into your feet. Come on all the way up, reach up, stretch up. Good, and release your arms. And put your hair up. Okay, we're gonna do a little standing back bend. I want you to think of the same idea. So again, just like our minds want to go in that path of least resistance, you know, make a judgment, us and them, you know, like we see, we categorize, and it takes a mindfulness and an awareness to not do that. Same thing in our back bend. So if I'm coming into a standing back bend and I'm not being very aware, where does my back want to bend? It wants to bend here and here, right? And then I get this crease here, and I get this crease here, and it doesn't feel particularly good. So I can come into it in a way that I'm still getting a nice extension for my spine, which is what we're looking for in that front body opening, but without creating a crease or a collapse. So make your legs strong. We just did this on the belly. We're just doing the standing up version. Tone your belly. Feel like you're lifting your pubic bone up with your abdominal muscles. Draw your navel towards your spine, not so much that you can't breathe, but that you feel very stable. Okay, take your arms into cactus, or you can go hands behind your head. It might feel more supportive for your neck. Okay, now get tall. Get tall first, lengthen up. Yeah, now start to draw your low back in. Keep your belly pulling back towards your low back at the same time. Now curl into your upper back. Now curl your head back a little bit and feel an arc from your tailbone all the way to the base of your skull. Inhale, come back up. Good, arms by your sides. Same thing, legs strong. Lengthen up, stabilize, glutes, belly, pelvis start to curl into your upper back. If you need support for your head, you could do it with your hands behind again. But see if you can maintain that curve in your neck, just using the neck muscles. Open your heart. Open your heart to this shared humanity. Good. Inhale, come on up. Okay, roll out your shoulders. Okay, we're going to do a thing with a block. Have a block. I hope you have a block at home. This is a good one to do. If you don't have it, you can just do a lunge, but it's, well, I'm not sure it's nice to do with the block, but it's transformational to do with the block. So here's what it looks like. We're going to go into a lunge. I'm going to show some options. Let me show this leg just because it's closer on the screen. Okay, I'm putting my block right above my kneecap. So it's long ways this way, and only because then you'll have more surface. So I like it this way, right above the kneecap. And then we're just going to hang out here. I'll give you some things to do. If it's too hard, if this leg has to have, this hip has to have a certain degree of flexibility to get the back knee down. So if it's too, if it doesn't want to go that low, stack your blocks. Do something like that. And get your thigh onto the block. So you can stack your blocks, or you could just do one block. So go left leg back. You're on your toes. Your hands can be over to the left, inside your right foot. And then rest the block right above your kneecap. Okay, got it? Yeah. Okay. Now, yeah, good. You can widen this right foot out to the right. Yeah, if that's more comfortable, you can turn the foot out. Okay, now let your left leg get really heavy. Let your left thigh release. Yeah, your toes can be off the floor. For some of you, the back toes might even be up off the floor. Then use the block to massage. Rock forward and back a few times. I know, not without deep sensation here, but it's a big release for this hip flexor, which when we open up the hip flexor, the back bends get a whole lot easier. You can adjust and move around. Like if it's just excruciating where it is, move it around. Lift your knee up, move it over a little, move it forward a little, move it back a little. But hang out here. Let the block just sort of dig in. You can go a little side to side.
I want most of the weight.
Yeah. You want the weight on the block, even though I know it's like just let that leg be really heavy. Yeah, so it's sort of digging in. And again, these cork blocks, if you're home and you have foam blocks, that's a lot more forgiving than these cork blocks. They're really hard. And if it's too intense, you can put a blanket over it. All right, one more breath here. Okay, lift your knee up. You can step forward. And just come to a forward bend here. If you need to put a block in front for your hands, do that. But I just want you to feel your legs here in the forward bend with your legs as straight as you can. So again, notice how, so we did a front of the thigh opening, but do you feel how the back of the leg just opened right up? Yeah, that whole left leg, right? It's more open. We open up one thing, we change how we see the world. We change what we see. We change how, literally, it changes everything. Okay, right foot back, same second side. So step your right leg way back. Again, left foot can be out to the left. Rest the right thigh on the block, right above your kneecap. So not on the knee, but above the knee. Yeah, and let the edge of the block sort of dig in. Yeah, your toes might get light on the floor, your right toes, but let your right thigh be really heavy. And maybe do some rocking, circling. It's basically you're like foam rolling your thigh, it's like just a different version of that. And it's hard. I find it hard to foam roll the thighs. This for me is a much more effective hip flexor opener than the foam roller. I'm a foam roller fan. It just works better for some things than others. Yeah, maybe move the block around, maybe wiggle the hips around a little bit, see what feels like it wants to happen. Yeah, and the idea is we hang out here for like a good minute or two. Just let it go. I know it's intense. Breathe, soften your jaw, your face, unclench your teeth, soften your eyes, all those things. Yeah, and if you can't, it's an indication that's like it's too much. I'm up here making suggestions. You do not have to stay as long as I am encouraging you to stay. Okay, lift your back knee up. Let's come back to dog pose now. So step back and go to tabletop, back into downward facing dog. And same thing, just feel the back of the legs. So we were in dog earlier, just feel how the back of the legs, this is a back pose opener. Feel how the back of the legs are more open. We open up the hip flexor. We change how we see just one thing and everything changes. Change how we open up to the world and everything opens up. Okay, drop your knees down. Okay, now we're gonna kind of put it all together, shoulders and hips. So we're gonna come into dolphin pose, which is dog pose on your elbows. If your shoulders are on the tighter side, lacing your fingers together is gonna make that a lot easier. I'm gonna do it that way. My shoulder is very cranky today. If you're looking for more shoulder opening, you can go forearms parallel like this, and that's gonna give you a little bit more stretch and opening into the shoulder girdle. Okay, so wherever you are, press your arms down into the floor. Walk your knees back. Bring your elbows right over your shoulders, right over your elbows. Take your gaze slightly forward. So like maybe look between your wrists. So the back of your neck is long, then tuck your toes. Lift your hips up. Notice how the head wants to come forward towards the hands. Move your belly back towards your thighs. Push the floor away from you. Walk your feet in any amount more. You can keep coming in. If you want to sweep one leg to the sky, do it as a split. You can do it as a split. If you want to keep your knees on the floor, keep your knees on the floor. Make it your pose, your breath, wherever you are. That's it. Maybe another breath there. And then slowly bring your knees back down. Good. Sit your hips back into child's pose. Yeah, if it's more comfortable to sit upright, you can do it that way. If you want your shoulders, give your shoulders a little bit of a break. You can wrap your hands around your arms around your legs, just like we did before. Let the shoulders relax. Breathe deep. All right, come on up to tabletop. We're going to come to a low lunge, which is a back bendy pose. Since we opened up the hip flexors, let's go for it. So step your right foot up. Good, and be in a long lunge. If it didn't quite make it far forward enough, just scoot that front foot forward or your back knee back a little bit, and then take your hands to your front thigh. Tuck your back toes. Squeeze your legs towards each other. Good, now move your shoulders back over your hips. Notice how your lumbar spine, your low back wants to take that crease, right? So pull your navel to your spine. Support your low back. Then move your shoulders back. Then maybe take your hands behind your head. We've been here a few times today. Plug your shoulders back, armpits back. Yeah, maybe take your head back, supporting the back of your neck and start to curl back. Curl back. Pull your right heel towards your right sit bone, but curl back. Maybe stay here, or maybe stretch your arms up for full stretch. Nice, you guys. Exhale, take your hands back to your front knee, and then slide your left elbow outside your right knee, and take your right palm on top for a twist and a little low back release. Have your right elbow above your left elbow. Push down with your right hand. Yeah, you can have your hand on your knee. That works too. Turn your belly deeply to the right. Try to move your breastbone more towards your thumbs. Keep the shoulders back, the heart open. Life is hard when we're faced with challenging things. Do it with an open heart. Inhale and release. Okay, step back. Let's go down. Let's go to downward facing dog for a moment. Stretch back. And then let's take Anjaneyasana second side. So right knee down, left foot between your hands. Good. A nice long lunge. So knee back beyond a diagonal. Yeah. Squeeze your legs together. Take your hands to your front thigh. So notice already, just coming up, I get a little pinchy in my back unless I'm actively telling the belly to do that. Tuck your back toes. So unless I'm actively saying, okay, I've got to tone here, I've got to support the low back, it's going to go into my low back. So navel to spine, then hands behind your head. Good. Elbows back, shoulders back, head back, lean back. A beautiful, even curving arc from your tail to your crown. Wherever that lands for you, whenever your body says, okay, that's enough, you just hold there, breathe. And if you want to take one last breath with the arms up and just stretch full into it, become the embodiment of this reaching out for humanity, for connection. Exhale, take your hands down, come back to your tabletop. Okay, Stand up onto your knees. We're going to do a camel. So you can use a block for this. A good way to stabilize the lower body and move the back bend into the upper back is to use a block. So squeeze, you can put a block between your inner thighs. Let's do it with tucked toes. If your knees feel sensitive, put a blanket underneath your knees. That's always, or just fold your mat over. All right, squeeze your block. Same work we've been doing all day. Tailbone down towards the block, lift your pubic bone up, tone your belly. Navel towards your spine. Slide your elbows towards each other behind you and just start to open up your chest. The goal of this pose, you guys, it's not to touch your feet. I mean, if you can touch your feet, great. If you can't touch your feet, it doesn't matter. The idea is we get the heart really open. So focus there. Elbows back, shoulders back, neck long, heart lifting. And if you can reach your feet, fine. And if you can't reach your feet, fine. Doesn't matter. Heart open. That's what we're going for. One more breath. Good. Inhale, come on up. And slide the block back and just sit onto the block for a moment. If your knees will cooperate with that. Good. Rest your hands on your thighs. Close your eyes. You could do a little pelvic tilting or cat and cow here, just loosening up the spine a little bit. After a big back bend, if a twist feels good, you could do a little side to side. Just get some movement into the back. All right. And then come lay down onto your back. Knees bent, feet on the floor. Just going to turn these off. Parallel your feet. Prepare for an active bridge pose. So with your knees bent, line up your heels underneath your knees. So don't have your heels too far out in front. Don't have them too close to your bed either. Just heels right under the knees. And then bend your elbows and bring your elbows in close to your waist. And press the backs of your arms into the floor. And then snuggle your shoulder blades together underneath you until you feel a valley lift up between your shoulder blades and the back of your neck. So your shoulders are pressing down, your head is pressing down. But there's this spaciousness between the shoulder blades and behind the neck. Good. Press to the big toe sides of your feet, the inner edges of your feet, and keep that. Slowly lift your hips up. Notice how the knees want to splay apart. Just keep grounding the inner edges of your feet and lift your hips a little higher. You could stay here, or you can bring your hands together underneath you and lace your fingers together if your hands, if your arms do that. Again, doesn't matter if they don't. It's the point is the back bend. Feel that curve, not one part of the back of the spine taking any more of the weight. A gentle curve from tail all the way up to the base of your skull. Feel your back lifting you, supporting you. Release your hands. Slowly release your hips back down. Then find your block and let's just do a modified shoulder stand. So hips up again, slide your block under your pelvis. Can be low, the block can be on the low setting or that medium setting. So I don't like the high setting for this. If you're really tall, it might work for you. All right, now do a little cat and cow of your pelvis until your sacrum, the back of your pelvis, is flat on the block. It's not tipped one way or the other. So you've got a curve in your spine. Press your shoulders down. Maintain the curve in your spine. Lift your knees over your hips. You can have bent knees here. The tendency is going to want to be to pull the knees into the chest. Try to keep your knees over your hips. Try to keep the curve in your spine. Then you can start to extend your legs up. They don't have to fully straighten. They can, if that's a reasonable thing for your legs to do. You can also keep the knees a little soft so you're still getting the inversion, but without dealing with hamstrings that are pulling. Close your eyes. Now, there's lots of reasons why we go upside down in yoga. I can give you all sorts of physiological reasons. It's great for your nervous system. It's great for your cardiovascular system, all that stuff. But really one of my favorite reasons is literally like it just changes your viewpoint. You know, you see the world in a different way. You see outside of the tunnel vision. The experience, even just the space that we're in our own body in this upside down position. And we breathe and we soften. So that when we go out into the world and we are faced with an upside down position of things, we know what to do. We breathe, we soften, we remember our connection to unity consciousness, to humanity. Slowly bring your feet back down to the floor. Go one at a time or both together. Let your feet get settled, and then lift your hips and slide your block to the side. Lift your right leg back up, straighten it as best you can, and lace your fingers behind your thigh. Instead of pulling the leg in, push your leg into your hands so you're getting a little release for the low back. Stretch your left leg straight to the floor. Good. Point and flex your right foot a few times. Yep. And then hold in the point and maybe bring the leg a little closer. And then hold in the flex and maybe bring your leg a little closer. Stay relaxed in your shoulders. Then bend your right knee and reach for the pinky edge of your right foot with your right hand. You can hold the foot with both hands if you like, or the left arm can go over to the left, however, whatever serves you. So a half happy baby. Then we're going to take it into a pigeony stretch. So now you're going to put your right foot in your left hand. Bring your right foot across your body towards your left shoulder. You can use your right hand on your right thigh or even on the knee to stabilize the knee, the bones of the knee together. Press the knee away until you feel a stretch into your hip. That's it. I like the back of the knee a little open so the heel is lifted up, but pulling towards your shoulder, not down towards your butt. Again, it's not wrong the other way. It's just going to give you a little deeper hip stretch. One more breath. Okay, release that leg and switch. So left leg up, lace your fingers behind your thigh. That's the first stage, point and flex. Hold in the point, maybe bring the leg a little closer. Hold in the flex, maybe bring the leg a little closer. Bend your knee, catch the pinky edge of your foot with your left hand. If you want to hold it with both hands, you can, or the right arm can come to the floor. Half Ananda Balasana. Now bring the foot across. Hold your left foot in your right hand. Bring your left foot towards your right shoulder. At the same time, you can use your left hand on your knee or on your thigh. Press the knee away from your left shoulder so you're feeling a stretch into your left hip. You shouldn't feel this in your knee. If you feel it in your knee, play with the angle of your foot and that will help. Keeping the ankle straight will bring it more into the hip. One more breath. And exhale, release, extend that leg out. And begin to soften into Shavasana. Deep relaxation. The idea is in Shavasana is that we're literally, it's corpse pose, we don't say it like that often for the obvious reason, but it's about letting go in a very profound way, about letting go of what makes us an individual. Not that those aren't beautiful and wonderful things. It's just that we get too focused on it. So as we relax the body and our sense organs, all the places that, all the things that we identify with in the surface level, we soften and let them go and let them relax so that we can then turn our awareness to that which is deeper than that. Thoughts will arise, they will come, they will go. Again, they're part of who we are. They're not the whole story. They're important. We cling to them. We believe that they're more important than anyone else's. In Shavasana, we let them go. And we keep diving deeper beneath the surface. Keep seeking that land mass beneath the water. we as these individual beings are a part of, but we forget. Seek that oneness in yourself. Rest there. Gently now, allow your breath to deepen. Allow your body to stretch and move and reawaken. And connected to a sense of unity, connectedness within you. Make your way to your side and come back to seated. Elul is the season of returning, of teshuvah, turning and returning to our highest selves. So in this work, one way we can do that is to notice when we're feeling anger or jealousy or hatred towards the other, to label it, to name it, to notice it, and then to dive beneath the surface. Again, doesn't mean we have to be friends. Doesn't mean we have to love the other. But when we hate and when we have hate in our hearts, it's the antithesis of freedom. We limit ourselves. Bring your hands together at your heart or onto your heart, however you're comfortable. Let's close together with shalom. Take in a deep breath. Shalom. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Namaste. Yeah.